Well, more fog, cold temperatures, and very heavy air as we get you set for Cubs baseball from beautiful Wrigley Field tonight. The Cubs welcome in the Washington Nationals. It's the first of a 3-day, 4-game series. Great to have you with us. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. The Nationals are in first place in the National League East, and they've been doing it mainly on their pitching.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of injuries. They've had a bunch of injuries, and they're everyday players. They're about middle of the pack in terms of run score, but the pitching has led the way. They're now a game and a half better than the Braves, 2.5 up over the Marlins. A disappointing year for the Nationals last year, but really poised to make a run. Let's take a look at some of these pitching numbers. Best ERA in the National League. They've only allowed 49 home runs. Best you see up and down the list. To keep the ball in the ballpark, you don't walk people, you have a good bullpen, well, you're going to win a lot of baseball games.
No doubt. Doug Fister will make his Wrigley Field debut tonight. He'll have to deal with not only Anthony Rizzo, but the cleanup man Starlin Castro, already way ahead of last year's pace.
A couple of knocks for Starlin last night. He drove in the Cubs' only run. Yeah, much better approach at the plate, more aggressive. He's attacking fastballs much better than he did last year, hitting the ball to the pull side with authority. It's been a really impressive turnaround. Here are the numbers to back it up. 245 last year, hitting 287 now this year. He's already passed last year's home run and RBI total, and that OPS up over 800. Pretty impressive stuff for Starlin Castro.
The season series will end after next weekend, so we'll see the Nationals quite a bit, and a couple of guys bidding for an all-star berth at first base in the NL. Anthony Rizzo for the Cubs, Adam LaRoche for the Nationals. We'll have the opener of this set next.
Invite you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Let's get into the Nationals Southwest starting lineup, written out by first-year manager Matt Williams. About middle of the pack, averaging just over 4 runs per game in the National League. Denard Span leads it off. Anthony Rendon plays third. Jason Worth is in right. Adam LaRoche having that great year in the cleanup spot. Ryan Zimmerman in left, at least for now, with Bryce Harper on the DL. Ian Desmond at short. Wilson Ramos just off the DL. It's switch hitting Danny Espinosa at second, and Doug Fister, the pitcher, and Travis Wood is ready to work. A couple of good athletes on the mound tonight, guys who work fast, and we're underway. Ball 1 to Denard Span.
And Wood and Fister, both guys who work quickly, throw a lot of strikes, don't overpower hitters. Fister more of a ground ball guy. Travis Wood more of a fly ball type pitcher.
Another cool night. Slight breeze off the lake. very foggy. You can see the rooftops across the street, but that's about it. Everything else is a blur. But as they say near last call at your local establishment, one last cold one. Should heat up tomorrow. As Castro throws out Span.
Well, let's see who's where for the Cubs tonight. It's brought to you by Kia, and we'll see an outfield of Sweeney, Lake, and Ruggiano, the constant revolving door outfield for the Cubs. Sets up that way this evening. Infield of Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo. Wellington Castillo is behind the plate for our Lexus starting pitcher. It's Travis Wood. He's 7-6. ERA now at 4.55. League hitting .253 against him. He's really neutralized left-handed batters. And this club, this Nationals team, hitting .280 against left-handed pitching this year.
Yeah, they have been a lot better against southpaws than right-handers. There's Mike DeMuro, an alum of the University of San Diego. Estabrook, Lane, and Wendelstedt on the bases. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2. Rendon can hit. Only 79 games in the minor leagues. After being a first-round pick in 2011 out of Rice University. That's high, and it's 1-2. 4 games here, then next weekend, the holiday weekend, starting on the 4th of July, 3 in D.C., and then the season series is over.
Nationals, we hardly knew ye.
1-2 pitch is poked down the line, foul through the bullpen.
He has that high average hitter's approach. Shorten up with 2 strikes, poke the ball the other way. He does have power. He's hit 12 home runs. He'll end up with a bunch of doubles. Just he gets that front foot down early and just uses his hands. He's one of the guys who's done a lot of damage against lefties, hitting better than .340. Looks like Travis with a little different game plan tonight, flipping up some curveballs here early.
He really had to grind it out his last start against the Pirates. He could not get through the 5th inning, which has been rare for him. Only the second time this season he hasn't completed 5 in a start.
Yeah, and he's got a good curveball. I think his cutter is so effective, and he gets so many outs with it. Tends to lean heavily on it, but I think it's a good idea for him to use his curveball and his changeup a little bit more frequently for a couple reasons. One, it gives hitters a different look, and here in a start like tonight, the Nationals, if they're looking at video and looking at recent starts, they're probably not thinking too much about that curveball, so it gives him another wrinkle to kind of surprise them with.
Fields that ball cleanly and throws to first. 2 down.
Thinking about that slow curveball, and could jam the daylights out of him when you get in on the hands.
Fog has kind of been in and out in terms of literally hovering over the ballpark. Maybe an hour ago it was very thick. Cleared up a bit. Now it's looking like London and San Francisco all over again. 2 outs. Here's Jason Worth. Not hitting for as much power this year. Hit into some bad luck. Still hitting some line drives, but just 6 home runs. He has struggled here lately. 132 over his last 9 games, but he has such a good eye at the plate. He still finds a way to reach base via the walk, even when he's slumping.
Yeah, I think he's a guy you attack early when you get ahead of him.
And he does, and there's a line drive base hit. So an 0-2 single into center.
Not a bad pitch, breaking ball that was going to finish down below the knees. You see Wellington's going into block mode.
So Worth is on for Adam LaRoche. Hitting over 300. He's second in the league with a .421 on base percentage. And he nearly got into the game the other night as a pitcher. Tuesday night in Milwaukee, Matt Williams admitted that if that game had gone into the bottom of the 16th in a tie, LaRoche would have pitched. It would have been his major league debut on the mound. But Ryan Zimmerman hit a home run, and they used the closer to finish off the Brewers instead. 1-1.
LaRoche's rate stats this year very similar to what Anthony Rizzo is doing, and he's had a lot of success against the Cubs in his career. You see where he ranks among active players in terms of home runs.
First base, first base, first base, first base, first base. Most of those guys now in the American League. 1-2. Second straight night, the game time temperature is under 60 degrees.
Wacky. Roche missed a couple of weeks with a quad strain. Notoriously a slow starter, but not so much this year.
Now the terrific 2012. Last year was a rough year. He's bounced back nicely. Worth runs well. 5 stolen bases so far.
The Nationals don't run a lot, but they're pretty efficient. 43 steals. They've been caught 8 times.
We're without Bryce Harper at the moment. He's on the disabled list. Pretty good chance we will see him in their lineup next weekend. He's coming off left thumb surgery. So right now Ryan Zimmerman, who's on deck, is playing left. The plan is that Zimmerman will go back to third when Harper comes off the shelf. Foul tip, strike 3. So Wood gets his first strikeout. That'll end the Nationals first. Doug Fister will take the ball and face the Cubs for the first time when we return. Man gets a hit. Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. And the Cubs have their 4th leadoff man. Since Emilio Bonifacio went on the DL, now their Southwest starting lineup. Sweeney, Ruggiano, and Rizzo will start things. Castro, Valbuena, Castillo will hopefully continue things. And Lake, Barney, and Wood will clean it up at the bottom.
How about the key of defense for the Nationals tonight? And Len mentioned Zimmerman playing left field currently. Denard Span, the speedster, in center. Worth, big arm, and right. Rendon and Desmond on the left side of the infield. Desmond's committed 14 errors this year. Second baseman Espinosa can really pick it. Fister works quickly. He's the Lexus starting pitcher for the Nationals. He's made 9 starts. He's 6-2 with a .265. Gets it and comes right after you. A lot of sinkers. does have a 4-pitch mix: changeup, curveball, slider. Look at the walk, 6 walks and 57 2/3.
3-1. Sweeney's faced him before. 4 out of 10. The Nationals got Doug Fister from the Tigers on December 2nd. Ground ball to third. And Rendon will throw across for the out. It's been a great pickup so far for the Nationals. Now he did start the year on the disabled list with a right lat strain just a little over a month. Debuted on May 9th. And over his last 8 starts, he's 6-1 with a 2.03.
Well, that's really been the story for the Nationals. 16-9 since the end of May. Their starters have a 2.39 ERA in that stretch. That's tops in the major leagues. And he starts Luciano with a changeup. Listed at 6'8" and 210. It's hard to weigh 210 when you're 6'8".
Outside on Ruggiano, he snapped an 0 for 17 in the 9th inning last night with a pinch hit double that went off the yellow rope in right center. Just missed a homer off for Aroldis Chapman as he rolls to the sure-handed Danny Espinosa. Two quick outs and it'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Low and outside, ball 1. Key guy Detroit got back in the Nationals trade was Robbie Ray, pitcher. Shallow left. And it drops. Rendon and Zimmerman got together, but nobody caught it. Zimmerman fairly new to the position in left, and that's a long run for the third baseman Rendon. So bloop single for Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I think this is Zimmerman's ball. He's got to take charge of this when it's in the air a long time. You see he yields early to Rendon, and with more experience he'll realize that he needs to run him off that ball. But Rizzo, the beneficiary, he's on base.
Robbie Ray, a left-hander. Ian Kroll, another pitcher. Steve Lombardozzi, utility guy, winning that deal. Tigers creating payroll flexibility, but Nationals very happy with what they got in return. And a fly ball to center. This is Denard Span, and that will end the inning. Quick one for both starters. 0-0.
Just flied out to center there to end the inning. But what a June he is having, and a turnaround year, really, which he attributes much to just the confidence he says his teammates and coaches have given him. And he also says the consistency, guys, of being in that 4 slot all season long means that he feels like he's gotten into a really good routine. Following up Anthony Rizzo, he says, I kind of know where guys might be pitching to me, but let's not forget the work he put in the offseason. Of course, Bill Miller got to him in spring training, and they've really compacted that swing. We don't see the leg kick or the hands moving quite as much either. So he says all of that has been part of this year he's having so far.
Thank you, Kelly. And he's in that all-star conversation at short. Troy Tulowitzki will be the starter, but two-time All-Star would like to make a return visit. 1-0 on Ryan Zimmerman. Just his 33rd game. DL time with a fractured right thumb. He missed 44 contests. And when he came back from the DL, we mentioned he returned as a left fielder. He has had some throwing issues with a surgically repaired right shoulder, but sounds like he's going back to third when Harper returns. That's hit very well late, chasing after it. Can't make the play, and he bangs into the door. And he is down in a heap. That is a double for Ryan Zimmerman. Junior Lake went flying into that door. And Ricky Renteria, P.J. Mainville, Ed Halber racing out to check on him. Oh, man.
Yeah, he carried a lot of momentum into that wall. You see the curb there at the base of the door. I'm wondering if he hit that with his knee. He takes one peek, sees the wall, and he continues in hot pursuit. My goodness, what an effort. Talk about being willing to give up the body. Wow, that is not a forgiving wall, obviously.
Like he banged his head against the door. Yeah, you worry about that knee. Just about the whole team is out there. It looks like Dr. Adams is going to head out there as well. P.J. Mainville checking on that left leg. There's Dr. Michael Adams. Steven Adams, my apologies. Michael Schaefer. And that's a good start.
Obviously, a little concerned about anytime the player has a head issue, you're worried about a concussion. And Rizzo, a little light moment tapping on the wall, saying that's hard.
Is he going to stay in the game?
I think he is.
That is amazing to me.
Well, no, maybe not. He's a little wobbly. I think he's coming out of this game. He's coming out of this game. It looked like he was lobbying to stay in the game.
Well, a smile on his face, that's good news, and the fact he's up and walking under his own power. But no sense in taking any chances.
Nate Schierholtz will come into the ball game and play right field, and Ruggiano will slide over to center. You know who just became a candidate to have a big night tonight? Nate Schierholtz.
So Lake, I'm sure, will be further evaluated by Doc Adams and the Cubs medical staff just to make sure everything's all right. Zimmerman with a leadoff double. And we resume. Ian Desmond, the shortstop. Very aggressive hitter. You see his on base average below 300, but he's got power. 14 home runs. And he bats with a runner on second and nobody out, and ball one.
Hit 20 home runs last year, 25 the year before. Does strike out a bunch. 29% of his plate appearances have ended in a strikeout.
2 balls, no strikes. Here's a pitch. Line to right, and the guy who just came in makes a play. That's Schierholtz. Zimmerman back to second. 1 away, and it's Wilson Ramos, the catcher, just came off the DL. A strained hamstring. Second time he's been on the DL. He actually broke a bone in his left hand on opening day. So only 24 games to this point for Ramos. Wood's first offering is a strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are bullish on this Nationals team. They've had a lot of injuries they've had to endure. The pitching has been so good. They're still a first place club, but you consider their lineup with all the pieces back and doing what they normally do, and this team should score plenty of runs.
And a base hit to left. Zimmerman toward third. He's going to be set. Here's the throw. Relay in time. Bob Henley, their third base coach, pretty aggressive over there. Zimmerman looking into his dugout saying, I'm not sure.
Well, that was aggressive and yet tentative at the same time, because he was waving him, but he was not waving him with any real conviction. I think as he was doing it, he's thinking, I probably shouldn't be doing this. I mean, look, he's just kind of casually rolling that arm. And maybe that's the way he always sends runners. But typically, if you're sending a guy, especially when you think it might be a close play, you're cranking that arm. And you think about a guy like Tim Flannery, who usually chases the base runner down the line. So there's not a whole lot of conviction there.
Okay, let's see where the catcher is. Okay, it looked like a clean play. It looks like Matt Williams is going to ask for obstruction. I don't believe he's challenging, because clearly the tag was applied early. So
yeah, and you almost forget. We've watched so much baseball over the years, you almost forget about this play. It looks to me like he's giving him the lane, and then as he catches the ball, he steps in front of home plate, which is fine. He's allowed to do that. So he's giving him the back corner of home plate, and then as he reaches to make the catch,
perfectly
he moves
done
into the line, and yeah, that's play on.
Talking with Mike Borzello during spring training, that's how they're teaching it. That's how the Cubs are teaching their catchers to accept that throw. Well executed. It went 7-5-2.
Yeah, that's got to be, yeah.
So it's Espinosa with 2 outs and a man at first.
Three well-struck balls by the Nationals here in this inning.
I suppose we need confirmation, because if it's an obstruction, there you go. Peter Chase, Cubs Director of Media Relations, announcing that was the question I had. Was it an official challenge? It was a crew chief challenge, or crew chief review. A manager cannot lodge an official challenge on an obstruction play. So Matt Williams and the Nationals maintain their one challenge.
And also pretty good from this side of the plate as a left-handed hitter. Doesn't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, because he's a really good defender at second, if he might at some point consider abandoning hitting left-handed. This year the splits are very drastic. 833 right-handed, 575 left-handed for the OPS. Takes a 3-0 for a strike, 3-1. Comes some more fog rolling in. Ball 4. Third base runner of the inning.
There's another category of a bad walk there. Travis making his second ever start against the Washington Nationals. Pitched against them here last August. Got a no decision. Gave up 4 runs on 7 hits.
Cubs with a left-handed pitcher who bats right-handed, and the Nationals a right-handed pitcher who bats left. And Fister to right, but it's going to hold up. Sherholt's not playing very deep. So the leg injury, the review, was a strange inning, but Wood gets out of it with no damage. Great to see our good friend Dave Cook, Dave the Builder from Felco, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, and a strike to Justin Grimm. The 50 celebration wraps up at the conclusion of this series with these Nationals. 3:05 game tomorrow. Day-night doubleheader on Saturday. Game 1, 12:05. Game 2, 6:15. Tickets are available for all three matchups. Go to Cubs.com to secure your seats today. Valbuena, Castillo, and Scherholtz against the right-hander Doug Fister. Should mention, Drew Smyly basically replacing Fister in the Tiger rotation. He's been pretty good this year for Detroit. Under 500, but a 3.19 ERA. This guy, he's all legs. Man, 6'8".
He's a tall drink of water. You've got to turn sideways in the shower to get wet. Whatever, all your other skinny jokes, break them out. Now's the time.
Quick windup. 2-1 on Valbuena. So normally, you go, well, the Cubs don't have to face Steven Strasburg. You go, that's a break. It's bunted foul, but they got to face Fister tonight. Tanner Roark with a sub-280 ERA goes tomorrow. Gio Gonzalez, Blake Trinan on Saturday. So it doesn't really matter who you face. They're all pretty good.
Yeah, Strasburg got knocked around pretty good by the Brewers yesterday.
Talking it over with Jordan Zimmerman, who also will not pitch
in
this series.
He's nasty too. I think he's one of the more underrated guys in the league.
Swing and a miss, strike three. I know if you could start a franchise, you'd start it with Jordan Zimmerman and Brandon Belt. Those are your guys.
Well, I wouldn't say they'd be my franchise guys.
Jason Hamill would be on your staff too. We're all over him too.
They're guys that I like for sure. I love watching Zimmerman pitch. It's a good changeup here from Fister. Well, he's one of three. Fister is starters in this rotation with sub-3 earned run average.
Looks to the catcher Castillo, who fouls.
If he doesn't have enough innings to qualify because of the time on the DL, but if he did, he would have the best walk rate in the National League.
He's good for about 1 walk per 9 innings.
He's given up more home runs than walks.
There you go.
Yeah, walks per 9. Minimum 100 starts. He tops the list.
Zimmerman also on that list.
Different approaches. Fister more of a pitch to contact guy with the sinker. Zimmerman, he's not afraid of contact, but he's got plus stuff. He can blow it by you.
Fister's from Merced, California. Went to Fresno State. 7th round pick of the Mariners in 06. Bounced foul.
Good for the Tigers. 32-20 with a 3.29 in his time in Detroit. 2.5 years worth. Ouch. No, don't do that. You just got back. If you don't get the head out in front of that sinker, see a fair bit of that.
Off the shin. They've already lost their center fielder tonight.
It was pretty agile right there by Welly, wasn't it? Like he could do the pommel horse with that move.
on the hands that time. 3-2. Fastball in. It was down, and Castillo in a 2-strike count. Protect mode.
Split change there looked like to Valbuena with a strikeout.
Driven to deep right center. Worth back on it along with Span, and it's Span to make the catch. It's just they were crossing paths.
Yeah, look, for a minute there, we might have another outfielder down as that ball was splitting the gap there between Worth and Span. Potential collision play, and gingerly avoids the contact and makes the catch.
Never took his eye off it. Two down, and here's Sherholtz. Into the game in the top of this inning when Junior Lake got hurt and called strike.
Straight away in the outfield, strong pull on the infield. That's how the Nationals play him. Has been pretty much right up the middle, and Rendon well off the line. Rendon. I keep getting them mixed up.
It's Rendon.
Rendon.
Like Rondon. Yep. Yeah. The Nationals have a defensive coordinator, Mark Wiedemeyer, they brought in with Matt Williams. They don't shift a ton. Inside. There he is, directing traffic defensively.
Does he like the 3-4 or the 4-3?
Don't know.
Cover 2. He's got a good blitz package.
Eight in the box, they say. Fouled off. Still 1-2.
Cutter up in on the hands. A lot of tricks.
Matt Williams comes in with this kind of, old school reputation. He is as prepared and detail oriented as maybe any manager in baseball.
Yeah, he earned the nickname when he was younger, the Big Marine or something along those lines. And real intense, like a drill sergeant, in terms of his preparation and his attitude. Very hard-nosed guy, serious-minded guy. And boy, what a career he had too. 17 big league seasons, tremendous power, and he could pick it. 5-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves, came up as a shortstop, moved to third base. How about that? Only player to hit a World Series home run for 3 different clubs.
Struggled against a left-hander named Jim Deshaies.
That's because they rushed him to the big leagues before he was ready, because they had a need, and nobody was in a hurry to face Matt Williams when he got in the batter's box.
Yeah, there are people who talk about being intimidated by his stare. He says it's more about concentration, that it's not that he's trying to intimidate people, it's that he's focused.
I remember when I was with the Astros and Brian Williams threw a fastball over his head, not intentionally, and we had a benches clearing situation, and he was I came eye to eye to him in the middle of that. Let me tell you, there was fire in those eyes.
Pop-up is caught by Rendon to end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Cubs in the second, scoreless through 2.
convention will take place next year at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers. The dates, January 16th through the 18th. Room blocks are now open and can be reserved by visiting CubsConvention.com or by calling 1-800-325-3535. And make sure you ask for the Cubs convention rate. All reservations at the Sheraton Chicago come with convention passes built right into the hotel package.
Well, clouds are here again as Travis Wood will go through the Nationals order for the second time. In a scoreless tie, got some help from his defense. 7-5-2 put out of Ryan Zimmerman at the plate in the second. Pitch to Span, misses, ball one. He had a 29-game hitting streak in the second half last year. Bernard Span. Breaking ball's hit on the ground to Rizzo. He'll step on the bag.
Hey, boy, he puts the ball in play. He has good contact skills. He doesn't walk much, but he doesn't strike out much either.
It's interesting with the fog here. FP Santangelo works alongside Bob Carpenter on Nationals television, was telling us that when he played for the Giants, they were here on a night just like this, and in the middle of the game the fog was so bad they called timeout, and Dusty Baker, who was managing the Giants, there's FP, you can kind of see him on the left.
He's in the red.
He said, I went out to center field and Dusty took a fungo and hit a fly ball out there, and I had no idea where it was, and they pulled us off the field for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I remember watching that, seeing the video of that.
The 1-1 to Rendon. This is low. I don't know if you saw him play in high school or college, but I know you heard about him in Texas.
Yeah. A lot of noise about him in high school and then over at Rice University.
And he pops it up. It'll be Rizzo for the out. If you're wondering, we are in no danger of being delayed at the moment, but I'll tell you what, the first pop-up that somebody just looks around and says, I have no idea where it is, and falls untouched.
Yeah, they're going to talk about it.
Have one. But we're okay for the moment.
So with that in mind, anytime you hit the ball in the air, don't make any assumption that's going to be caught. Run hard.
A 1-0 to Jason Worth. It's a strike on the inside corner. So the 5 tools, you hear about it a lot in baseball. Guys who run. We've got arm strength. Offensive skills are broken down into average and power, and then overall defense. Jason Worth ranks pretty well on those lists, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is a very skilled baseball player. Got a good approach at the plate. He runs well. Big arm. As you mentioned earlier, the power number is not there this year, but typically provides a fair bit of power.
Right back to Travis Wood. That's it for Washington in the third. 0-0. Fog Bowl 2014 continues. The top 5 offenses in the American League will square off in Toronto. It's the White Sox and the Blue Jays. Toronto leading the American League East. White Sox have been scuffling lately. 6 o'clock tomorrow right here on Comcast Sportsnet. White Sox at one point were 33 and 33. They've dropped 10 of their last 13. Won't be easy this weekend.
Yeah, get to beat our 5-0 tonight in the 5th.
First of 4 tonight.
Now Darwin's pretty good inside, middle in, that little running fastball moving in on him. That's a pitch he can handle.
Fister's 1-1. Ground ball sharply hit, but it's picked up by Desmond.
Obla-di-obla-da. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 ground ball outs.
Travis Wood. Up in the air. I don't see it, but Span does.
Check that, 3 ground ball outs. I was looking at the other side of my scorebook.
Yeah.
I forgot to flip. I forgot to flip my scorebook over.
Don't forget to flip.
And now I've marked LaRoche grounding out to short to lead off the 4th. He better comply. It's going to mess up my book. Ironically, they had pea soup in the press dining room tonight.
Here's Sweeney.
Or maybe appropriately.
Yeah, I would say appropriately. Yeah. Ironically would be the opposite. What sort of soup would be the opposite of pea soup?
Navy bean? I don't know. Mulligatawny?
Something not thick.
No soup for you.
1-1. Changeup hit in the air deep to center. Span will get to the spot, and that will end the inning. You got the right side of the scorecard?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Hopefully the Nationals do exactly what the Cubs just did.
Using hashtag Northside Fan Photo for a chance to have it appear later in tonight's broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Chris Berkey chiming in on Twitter. Miso soup. Yeah, that would be ironic if they served miso soup tonight. That sounds really good, too. So here's LaRoche as we start the fourth. And he needs to ground a short to help out your scorecard.
Talked about earlier about the comparison with he and Rizzo and the rate stats, the on base, the slugging. And he's doing a nice job against left-handed pitching this year, too, hitting for a high average. He has not hit a home run yet off of left-handed pitching. Hitting well up over 300 against southpaws.
Notice Castillo has his nails painted. Help the pitcher see those signs tonight. 1-2. Woods 1-2 pitch blown outside. Travis 5'11", 175 from Bryant, Arkansas.
Back with the slider.
Rose checked his swing and rolled it foul. 3-2. Check that. Still 2-2.
Roche has good gap power. A lot of these tall left-handed hitters are pull hitters that just look for the ball down. If he can handle the ball up in the zone and he drives the ball well to left center.
Bouncer to Rizzo.
I didn't get my wish.
Close enough, right?
Yeah, I can make an adjustment.
It's
a game of adjustments. Another guy with that kind of approach. You saw it in his first at bat when he ran Junior Lake into the wall out there in center. It's a lot of balls straightaway center field. A lot of his home runs out there. So well off the plate, but really covers the outside part of the plate. How far in Castillo's going.
So that's the franchise leaderboard dating back to the Expos days, starting in '69. Zimmerman was the Nationals' first ever draft pick in '05. The guy on deck, Ian Desmond, longest tenured player in their organization, drafted when they were still the Expos in '04. A high fly to right. In and out of the fog it goes as Sherholt's able to locate it. 2 outs. Zimmerman, a big night the other night in Milwaukee. I mentioned that 16-inning affair. He hit a 2-run homer in the top of the inning. They give the Nationals the lead. And talking to their broadcasters, they say that he's done a nice job at left. Now, he had that play earlier tonight, but that's a nice diving grab out there in left center. It was in the bottom of the 16th as Desmond swings and misses.
Signed as a shortstop, moved to third base, a very gifted defensive player until the arm problems came along, and then in between the ears a little bit too. He's gotten a little yippy with his throwing at third base. If ultimately they do decide to play him out in left field more often, I'm sure he'll be fine out there. I think it's more the nuanced play like we saw in this game. Do I keep going or do I yield to an infielder? Things of that nature. But if it's just pursue the ball and catch it, I think he's going to be fine.
He may be moving around a little bit when Harper comes back. Left field, third base, maybe some first. Cut on and foul tipped. So Wood goes 1, 2, 3. The pitcher is dominating early on. We're in the fourth and we're scoreless. Was at the ballpark tonight. Joined the U.S. Army in 2006. Served 9 months before being discharged due to a training injury. 2011. Began serving with the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago. She is a Mission Continues alumni and an active platoon member with the Mission Continues Service Platoon here in Chicago. Great to have her here.
Tomorrow afternoon, 3:05, the Cubs and the Nationals, and the first 20,000 at the ballpark will receive a Wrigley Field 100 tote bag presented by the MLB Network. Tickets available on every level, so visit Cubs.com. Come out and join us tomorrow afternoon.
Ruggiano swings and misses. One strike. And the Cubs center fielder, he started in right. Moved to center when Junior Lake left due to an injury.
There's a herky jerkiness about Fister's delivery that I think serves him well too. It's interesting. He's really fast at the beginning, and then as he gathers himself, he kind of slows down. And see where that would get a hitter maybe a little jumpy. Probably constantly telling themselves, stay back, stay back, stay back. Just look for the ball. Don't look at the guy. Look for the ball. Look at that window, that tunnel that the ball comes out of from his release point.
Because of his height, extension. Ball comes out of his hand a little closer to home plate than some other guys. So the velocity may seem a little more intimidating than it actually is to a hitter. Pounded on the ground. Rendon backed up and not a good throw. Ruggiano is safe. He'll get a base hit. Second hit of the night for the Cubs and the first leadoff man to reach.
On his heels, trying to find a friendly hop. Leads to an errant throw. If he had to do it all over again, he probably would have charged that ball.
Boy, the fog just will not go away. Every time it clears up, it only stays that way for about 5 minutes. Out, that ball pulled foul. Fan right behind the dugout made a nice play. And strike on Rizzo.
You know who'd be good tonight? Josh Fogg.
Oh,
remember Josh?
Yeah. He could have faced Charlie Hayes. Well, they do have Nate McLeod on their bench.
The ones you have to reach for are always better.
Fouled upstairs. 1-2.
So Anthony was on deck last night when Ryan Sweeney was batting with 2 outs in the 8th off of Jonathan Broxton. And knowing full well that if the inning ended, Aroldis Chapman was going to pitch the 9th. So I asked him today, honest to goodness here, give me the truth. You hope that Sweeney kept that inning alive so you wouldn't have to face Chapman. He goes, no, because I wanted to face him. He goes, I haven't seen any left-handed pitching lately. Wow, more power to you, man. Not many guys pine for an at-bat off of Aroldis Chapman.
Pretty confident right now. Bounced out in front of the plate, and it's 3-2. Gregory Polanco is homered tonight. The Pirates lead the Mets 5-1 in Pittsburgh after 6. Lucas Duda is homered for New York.
I think this is a go situation here for Ruggiano with the ground ball guy on the mound.
There he goes. And Rizzo fouls off his foot. Up in Milwaukee, the Brewers over the Rockies 3-0. They're in the bottom of the third. There goes, and that one smacked foul. Aramis Ramirez and Ricky Weeks with home runs for the first place Brewers. 4.5 up on St. Louis starting play today. Cardinals are in LA tonight. Wainwright and Beckett. Great matchup on the mound.
Uncle Charlie will be in the house. There'll be some curveballs snapped off in that one.
Reds are at San Francisco later. Leake and Vogelsong. Mr. Set, another 3-2. Ruggiano not running, and that one drilled into the corner and right. Extra bases for Rizzo. Ruggiano to third. He'll be held there by Gary Jones. The Cubs have runners at second and third with no outs. Rizzo's 2 for 2.
Yeah, boy, it's really been fun watching him hit this year. We talked about the confidence, the execution, trying to throw this cutter in on his hands, and he's just too quick. Gets the hands pulled in, gets the barrel to the ball. They tried change-ups. They tried working him away, up, down. He ultimately wins the battle. Look how quick that stroke is. Look for to the future of the Cubs, and you know that little box that says power hitting, high average first baseman with on base. You could check that box. You're covered there. He's got it figured out.
Here's a cleanup hitter, Starlin Castro, and he looks at a strike on a fastball. Infield back. They'll concede a run, trying to avoid a big inning. Broken bat, base hit. Ruggiano scores. Rizzo will be sent. Zimmerman will throw to second. It's a 2-run single for Castro. Give him 47 RBIs, leading the club. And it's 2-0.
Fisher gets the ball in on him a little bit, cracks his bat. He's right in by the label. Able to lift it into left field, and Rizzo, you know, the other thing, he's not just a big lumbering first baseman. He can move a little bit too.
Castro's driven in 21 here in the month of June, third in the National League. Valbuena pops it up on the first pitch. Near the mound, Fister will vacate, and it's Rendon from third to make the grab. One away. Castillo got a hold of one his first time up and was run down by Denard Span. It's by Castro now to second.
Overcooks his slider a little bit. Almost not quick enough to square up behind it. Castro into scoring position.
Foul past third by much.
think that's another box you can check too. Solid defensive catcher who's going to bring some value to the home plate too. Numbers not where he would like him yet this year, but he's going to have a pretty good run here.
Curve strike, 1-2. An error by Jeff Baker has allowed the Phillies to tie the Marlins 3-3 in the bottom of the 7th in Philadelphia. Saltalamacchia, Stanton, and Ozuna. All the solo home runs. That's into left center, and Castro will score. Castillo makes it 3-0. Fourth hit of the inning.
Well, that ball jumped off his bat. Smiles in that home dugout. Cubs putting an inning together here against a very good pitcher in Doug Fister. Staying long through the zone. Big high finish. RBI single. Look out.
Sherholtz hooks one foul to right. 3-0 here in the 4th.
Fister had allowed 2 or fewer in 7 of his 9 starts this year, so you're not used to getting knocked around.
One and two. Game 7 of this 10-gamer. 2-4 so far, and then back to the road after Saturday night.
Another long one.
Yeah, 11 games, including 5 in Cincinnati. Just off the plate in.
Cubs 17 and 18 here at Wrigley. So far this year, they played the fewest home games of any team in baseball. Well, Major League Baseball.
Fister and Sherholtz battling. They've elevated his pitch count. It's over 70. We're only in the 4th inning. 3 runs in. And a pop fly into shallow left. It'll be Zimmerman to make the grab. Two down, and it's Darwin Barney. See Mike Magro here, Cub fan, celebrating his 98th birthday.
Wow.
With Audrey and Allison, his granddaughters.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Two strikes to Barney.
Well, we had that World War II vet here last night. He was in his mid-90s.
Lenny Marullo.
Lenny Marullo was 97.
97-year-old Lenny Marullo.
And then we had the Babe's daughter up here. She was 90, wasn't she?
Yeah, I believe so. Felo Ramirez, the Hall of Fame Spanish broadcaster with the Marlins, just turned 91. Still works every day.
Jeff Garland was up here last night. He's got to be pushing 90, doesn't he?
He's ageless.
He's like a fine wine.
Travis Wood on deck.
Ooh, he's badly there trying to throw a sinker in. Who usually has very reliable control. He's firing badly with this one.
Roche behind Castillo, who takes off with 2 outs and a pop foul out of play. Again, it cleared up for about 2 minutes. Fog has rolled in once again.
This date in 1960, a young fellow by the name of Ron Santo made his major league debut. A doubleheader sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 3 out of 7, drove in 5. The battle here by Barney. Fister with 36 strikeouts coming into this game and 57 2/3, so it doesn't have a high strikeout rate. He has a hard time putting hitters away. That's not what he tries to do. He pitches to contact. So this has got to be frustrating for him that he can't finish the deal. Trying to get the ball put in play. Garland keeps fouling it off.
On the ground to Espinosa. And the inning is over, but a very productive one for this offense. 3 runs score, and it's 3-0 Cubs at the end of 4. Arrieta is back to the mound after taking a perfect game into the 7th in his last start. Cubs and Red Sox open a 3-game series Monday at 6 on Comcast Sportsnet. Travis Wood now with a 3-0 lead as he works to the bottom of the Nationals' order here in the 5th inning.
Much more efficient tonight than he was last time out. He threw 99 pitches, but only lasted 4 2/3. Only the second time this year he didn't get through 5 innings.
Catcher Ramos looks at a strike. Iowa Cubs at Colorado Springs tonight. Arismendi Alcantara from the leadoff spot with a double and a home run tonight as Ramos deposits one into left. It's a leadoff single. He's 2 for 2 just off the DL. Not seen an appearance from Manny Ramirez tonight. Supposed to report to Iowa today. Kyle Hendricks got the start in that game. 6 innings, 2 runs. Actually a double header in the bottom of the 7th, or the final inning of game number 1. Minor leagues, if you play 2, you play 7-inning games. One and 0 on Espinoza. Here it is. Double play ball. 6-4, 2-3.
Bit of a tough hop into the midsection for Castro, but because of the pace of that ground ball, turns into an easy DP once he's able to secure that baseball. Clean it up after the leadoff single. Sharp 2 hopper. Feed the flip. 2 outs, nobody on. Up into him a little bit, but nice play.
Pfister takes a strike.
Hey, they just came from Milwaukee and they stay at the Pfister Hotel. Do you think he got special treatment?
He's got to add a P to the front of his name first. Yeah, I would think so.
Extra chocolate on the pillow, maybe.
Right. Swing and a miss. These are things you think about, I know. Keep you awake at night. 3-0 Cubs.
Who's this Pfister guy? Cubs take on the Nationals. Well, that's the day after tomorrow. Scheduled day-night doubleheader. First 4,000 children 13 and younger at the 12:05 game will receive limited edition American Girl doll-size Cubs apparel. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Travis Wood with a 3-0 lead. Started the night at 267. He flied to center in his first at bat. He is slugging .516 on the year. 2 doubles, 2 homers. Off the end of the bat this time. Zimmerman doesn't know where it is, but Desmond does. Cubs have used Coughlin, Lake, Valbuena, and now Sweeney to fill in atop the order with Bonifacio on the DL. And then Ryan looks at a strike. Half cut there as Pfister will apply the tag.
Got a pretty good idea of what he's doing out there. Cubs got to him pretty well last inning, but just watching him pitch, he has a real good feel for pitching. The way he moves the ball in and out, changes speeds. He has the ability to throw his changeup well up above the knees. Most guys, when they throw their changeup, it's a pitch they start in the zone and they want to have fading out of the strike zone down below the knees. But he has such good arm speed with his. He's thrown a number of them kind of just about mid-thigh in the strike zone. Hitters don't pull the trigger on it. Good curveball.
Bottom fell out of that as Ruggiano swung and missed. Princeton started the 3-run fourth with an infield hit. Sends one to right. Worth on the move, and that's it. Inning over just like that. Still 3-0 Cubs. Page every Sunday night for your chance to own one-of-a-kind game-used Cubs items. This week's auction features the 1953 throwbacks worn this past Sunday. Go to Cubs.com/authentics to bid on these jerseys and other unique game-used items. Fog is in and out, and it's back in. But it hasn't bothered Travis Wood a bit. He has allowed 4 hits, been scattered. Third time through now, and a strike at the knees on Span. giving his manager exactly what he wanted. Length. Bullpen's been pretty busy this week. One ball, one strike. Rendon and Worth to follow. There'll be extra bases for Span, at least 2, and he'll pull up with a standing double. That's his 30th extra base hit, most among all leadoff hitters in baseball.
Travis tries the curveball here, and Span stays back nicely on it. Travis Wood, you don't want to get overly concerned with Span out there. Obviously, you prefer he not score. Don't start pitching away from contact here because there's a man in scoring position. You've got a 3-run lead.
Yeah, I've talked to pitchers before, and some have the belief in a spot like this, yeah, guy at second, nobody out, you forget about it. If he doesn't score, that's gravy, but go after the hitter.
Yeah, once you get an out or 2, then you get a little more greedy. But right now, you're really focusing on the guy in the batter's box.
Well, he is going to score as Rendon with a base hit to right. He makes an aggressive turn. He'll hold with an RBI single. And it's now 3-1.
That's the book on Rendon. A guy who'll use the whole field. He says, I'm trying to shoot the ball that way. His first at bat with 2 strikes. This time early in the count. Similar approach. He's thinking, well, at the very least, I'm going to get this guy over to third base. But if I can find a hole, I get myself a knock and drive him in. And that's what he gets. Rewarded for that good approach.
And a Springfield, Illinois native, Jason Worth. Grandson of Dick Schofield. Played in the big leagues for 19 years. His uncle is the younger Dick Schofield, 14 years in the majors. His stepdad, Dennis Worth. Parts of 4 seasons with the Yankees and Royals. And off the plate inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Ever see that movie Into the Wild?
Into the Wild.
He could have played Alex Supertramp.
Did not see it.
It's pretty good. Good book too. The 3-0 is a strike called. He didn't think so.
He's got a pretty good idea of the strike zone. Let's take a look on our pitch tracks. Out the corner at the knees.
Pitch number 1 was a strike 2. Or strike 1, as it were. There's ball 4. Trouble here for Travis. These innings are like pop-up showers in the summer, right? They kind of come out of nowhere. Now it's a 3rd time through, so that's something we should note. As you mentioned, Wood had only faced this team 1 other time, so gotten a pretty good look at him. But
yeah, you know, in most games, the starting pitcher is going to have 1 or 2 kind of crisis points, innings where there's a couple guys on and a dangerous hitter up. How you navigate that situation, looks like he's going to get out of it.
That'll help a lot. 4-6-3 on the double play. So Rendon's at 3rd, but there are 2 outs. That's a huge double play. 2nd in as many innings.
Crisis averted for the time being.
Fister had his inning in the fourth. He gave up 3 runs. He could not get that double play ball. Inside for a ball to Zimmerman. Well, you mentioned it. I mean, think about how close to the plate Anthony Rizzo stands in that left-handed batter's box and how far off the plate Zimmerman is in the other box.
Yeah. You guys have had plenty of success, so there's not one way to do it.
Curve at 71 is over. 2-1.
And both of those approaches present a little bit of a problem for a pitcher because you're used to the norm, and the norm is somewhat in the middle of the batter's box. So when somebody's really close or really far away, it's a little different look as you peer in there. And a lot of times you're caught scratching your head. What is he trying to accomplish by being so far off the plate? Can I just throw the ball down and away? Can he reach it? Most guys that start far off the plate, their first move is in toward home plate, not directly towards the pitcher. So you feel like you should be able to jam him.
Remember Tony Batista?
Yeah.
He almost faced the pitcher. He had the most open stance you've ever seen.
Yeah,
he wanted the ball toward the outside part. He would dive toward the outside part of the plate. So the book on him was to pitch him inside. Second walk of the inning. Our AT&T UVerse multi-view.
A lot of times guys like that jam themselves. The ball doesn't have to be that far in, but because they're diving, get all tied up.
A dangerous guy in Ian Desmond. Did he go? Yes. Estabrook at first on a late appeal. Good call.
Double up inside with cut fastballs. Desmond strikes out a whole bunch. We got him last time with a high heater. That's what Willie wanted. Travis wants to take a shot down and away first. Ooh, didn't get it there. Careful now.
Span doubled to start the inning. Rendon knocked him in with a single. Worth walked and was eliminated on a LaRoche 4-6-3. Zimmerman walked. And now Desmond strikes out to end the threat. They get one, but Wood limits the damage. And coming up, Anthony Rizzo will lead it off for the Cubs in the bottom of the 6th.
lead. We head to the 6th here, bottom of the 6th. The Chicago Sports Museum and Harry Caray's 7th inning stretch are now open at Water Tower Place. The museum combines high-tech interactive experiences with an impressive collection of game-used treasures. Come challenge yourself or your friends.
And a base hit through the shift into right. Leadoff single. He's 3 for 3.
Single, double, and now single. He stays back. Ball stays up a little bit for him. He just keeps on rolling.
Over 290 now. Castro 289 as he takes a strike.
Somebody's starting to loosen in the Nationals bullpen.
Aaron Barrett.
Hard chunking right-hander.
Nice play, Rendon, as they go around the horn. 5-4-3. That ball handcuffed him a bit, kind of caught him in the palm of the glove, but able to get it away cleanly to Espinosa. 5-4-3. Just like that, 2 outs, nobody on. Bobby D will join us tonight. The igniter, Bob Dernier, will sing the 7th inning stretch. We'll chat with Bobby in the top of the 7th. Pitch. Curveball low. 2-0. Fister's 3-1. Out of play, left field. First 4 words in the Baseball Reference bio on Doug Fister: tall, lanky, pencil thin. The 3-2. Another foul. Somebody tweeted earlier, when he pitches from the stretch, you can't see him.
Especially in the fog. Don't adjust your televisions.
Well, this is about as thick as it's been all night. Get something up in the air there, Luis. He's trying. How about an inside the park pop up to second?
Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of Jason Worth out there in right field, looking over towards Bernard Span after that foul off, kind of shrugging his shoulders like, I didn't see it. I don't know, man. Guys are going to go out there with a helmet on.
There it is.
He
doesn't know where it is. And Luis Valbuena can keep on running. Zimmerman over to help him. Span will pick it up. Valbuena to third. There you go. It's a triple.
He had just been 2 out of his last 22. Nothing like a little good fortune. That has to be such a helpless feeling for an outfielder.
Matt Williams, the manager, went out in a very brief chat with Pfister. No conversation between Williams and the umpires. The crew chief is Jerry Lane at second.
Well, yeah, Williams, he's down a couple of runs. He might think, this could ultimately play to his advantage.
Right.
So he's probably thinking, hey,
get out of the sand quickly and get back up.
Yeah. Throw your sinker.
Another fly ball. This one, though, Span able to find, not hit nearly as high, and that's it. So a fog-aided 2-out triple, but no runs. 3-1 Cubs as we go to the 7th. Bobby D coming up next. Nationals as we get into the 7th, and great to have with us Bobby Dernier, big part of the '84 National League East champs, and kind of hard to believe it's been 30 years.
I know, and it's been a few years since we've been sitting on the same bus. It's been a few years since I had to face this rascal. Yeah, a lot of fun memories.
How about the fog? First of all, it's June 26th, and boy, it's really settling in right now. Did you have any bad days like this where you couldn't see the ball in center?
I was telling the guys next door, it's like when the ball's hit, you feel undressed. You can't see, and what do? And you yell and throw your hands up, and fortunately somebody's back there backing him up, or that could have been a circle.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Wilson Ramos. And as a hitter, you're probably thinking, I got to hit the ball in the air, right?
Well, I didn't, but
no, you didn't. But I mean, right now.
That's right. Yeah, take advantage of the elements. We'll get another look, but you can tell right away. You just look at the center fielder, and everybody's pointing up, but doesn't do him any good. He looks up and he sees nothing but fog. And Valbender, he did a good job hustling and getting to third base on that play.
There's the 0-1. Misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. So let's talk about that '84 club and specifically all the former Phillies. So you had all these guys who were together in Philadelphia, and the Dallas Green connection, all that stuff. How did that play into the camaraderie you guys had when you came here to Chicago? Boa and Sarge and Rhino and you.
Yeah. Well, it's still a lifelong love affair of sorts. I mean, friendships are forever in that world, and Rhino and I came up through the minor league system together in A, Double A, Triple A. So we had that history, and then Gary playing with him in Chicago, and of course Boa as well, and Keith.
Yes, really, right.
5 out of the 8 starters were former Phillies and former Dallas Green guys, I guess you could say. And I think it helped. It helped our club. Having that familiarity, Rhino and I in particular, hitting first and second in the order, we kind of knew each other and had a little bit of a plan, we thought.
Did you guys put your own hit and run plays on?
Run and hit. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'd get underway and he'd look for a certain pitch and gap it, or get it down the line, and that was, it appeared to be hit and run.
Ball 4 outside, leadoff walk to Ramos. That's 4 tonight for Travis. So coming up through the minor leagues with Rhino, you got to look at him that a lot of Cub fans never saw as a much younger player. What did he need to work on as he kind of matriculated through the Phillies system?
Yeah, you wouldn't have guessed. I mean, none of us would have, that he was going to be the great player he was. We knew he was steady Eddie. He had success at every level, but you'd never know. The guy was
there was nothing. Nobody said this guy's a star level player.
No. The Phillies let him go, in a relatively light way. I mean, he wasn't a heavy trade piece, Mm-hmm. He came with Boa for DeJesus. Mm-hmm. And but Dallas knew, and he had been the farm director over there and watching us, just like I'm sure Jason McLeod's doing now, and so on and so forth. As you watch players, and even back in the day in Boston, I know Theo and Jed, they know these guys. That's part of the nature of the game. I think you watch guys, you like how they go about it, and if the opportunity presents itself, you're elsewhere, now you may end up with them again.
Self-scouting is really important, but sometimes when you see all the warts, you see everything a guy does. Sometimes we tend to maybe undervalue a guy, right? And then we go somewhere else. They go, "What about this guy?" And you go, "Well,
that's right.
Man, he looks great."
It's human nature, right?
You and I had some warts. They knew what was wrong with us.
Yeah,
that's true.
2-0 the count.
Yeah, you can focus on what a guy can't do, or you could say, well, this guy is capable of doing this, and in the right situation, he's really going to help our club.
Dallas really understood the strength of having a strong, consistent defense behind good pitching, and I think we took a lot of pride in that as a team. And you got to have an offensive style. We had that speed at the top, power throughout. Really 2 through some, and me and Boa were the only guys that didn't really hit for power. So that style of game, I think it was productive, and still productive today, I suppose, if you're able to get the right guys.
3-0 now. So Wood walked Ramos. He's behind Espinosa, and there's a former Cub, Scott Hairston, on deck in the pitcher's spot. So trouble here in the 7th with a 3-1 lead.
This game really had a pace there for the first 6. I noticed every time I looked up, it was like, wow, the inning's over, and I had to move, and now I show up and everything stops. So sorry about that.
Well, that's all right.
Welcome to the 7th inning.
Right. Yeah, the last 3 innings of games these days really go slowly because of the specialization of bullpens now. We haven't even gotten to the bullpens yet. Outside, he's walked the first 2.
I think we're about to get to the bullpen.
It's 5 walks now for Travis Wood. Pfister is going to come up, not Hairston. How about that? Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Pfister apparently can bunt.
Well, he put a pretty good swing on it the first time he was up there.
So they'll talk it over. Yeah, back to your other comment, Bobby. I mean, we're getting back to more of a game that the fundamentals, have more importance now. Defense, all those things. Run scoring is down a lot over the past decade. We're seeing a lot of hard throwers now. You get late into a game, it's 96, 97, 98. Or in the case of Aroldis Chapman, 101. There's the bunt, a good one. Second and third, 1 out.
Now it makes sense, right there. that's what Williams sent him up there to do, and that was textbook. Boy, what a good bunt.
Yeah, can't do any better than that. Yeah, you would like playing right now. You know, speed is back in baseball.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just playing the game, you know, taking extra bases. You know, having that style as a team, though, really, Jim, for me, is the main thing, and because it doesn't have to be the fastest guys. You know, you can. Keith Moreland ran the bases smart and very well. He wasn't the fastest guy, but that kind of team commitment can be a thread through you that you know, helps lead to winning.
Ball one on Span. I mentioned Ricky needs innings out of his starter tonight, so maybe going with Travis a little deeper than normal. So he'd like to not have to use a bunch of bullpen arms. Ramirez is ready in the pen right now. He's got a left-handed hitter at the plate. Here it is. It's a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, you got to believe that Ramirez is coming in after Span, regardless of the outcome of this at bat.
Long look. You get the sign from Castillo. And trouble deep to right. That ball is off the wall, and the Nationals have tied it up. Span making the turn. Throw to second. They're going to get him out there. So they do tie it, but the potential go-ahead run is out at second. Nice play by Rizzo. I don't know if Span kind of lost where the ball was in the fog.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a two-run double, but a horrible mistake on the bases, and Rizzo with a nice play to cut him down.
That might have been the second ball lost in the fog by Denard Span. One on defense, one on offense.
They lost a man at second tonight, and they lost a man at home plate.
Pitching change. Neil Ramirez coming on when we return in the seventh. True rookie making his 23rd appearance. He'll face Anthony Rendon. We're with Bobby Dernier. The Gold Glove you won in 1984. That's an award I know most guys really cherish, and I know it means a lot to you.
No doubt. Yeah, it was a team award. And if you have a team that's successful and you get individuals recognized because of it, and I think we all understood that and valued it.
And hey, Nick Leyva was your last manager, and he's still coaching. He's still in the big leagues, so that's got to make you feel good.
It does.
And young, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, and being the first outfielder in Cubs history, it really dates me now. But I still look at that as like, wow. What about Rick Mundy and Pafko and There's so many great players, you know, that had played before. So I thought it was a bit of an injustice, but I have to carry that mantle. And proud to do it.
You earned it. Nobody on, 2 runs in, and ball 1 on Rendon. You've got a guy doing harmony with you. Who's
I got my good friend Brett Lasky. He's going to join us for the stretch. He's a ball player, a golfer, goalie.
Good to have you here. Maybe a future Gold Glover.
Uh-oh. No, I got it. I see it.
All right, here we go. Time for the 7th inning stretch with Bobby D.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, former Chicago Cub Bobby Dernier.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Let's get some run!
Executive Club at Wrigley Field. Your guests will enjoy an all-inclusive top-shelf bar and gourmet food in this high-end space with 7th inning celebrities and former Cubs. For information, it's the Premier Sales Team, 773-404-4200 or Cubs.com/suites. It's Craig Stammen.
Right-hander works for the 24th time. A really nice job keeping the walks down. In the past, it's been a bit of a problem for him. Not this year.
Good ball, foul.
4-pitch mix: fastball, curveball, slider, and change. He'll throw a lot of 2-seam fastballs, run it away from the left-handed hitters.
Starter Pfister went 6, gave up 3 in the dirt. The reason Scherholz is in the game, scary incident back in the 2nd inning, a leadoff double by Ryan Zimmerman, and Junior Lake sliding, crashing into that door. He was able to get up and walk off under his own power. It looked like he wanted to stay in the game, but the Cubs medical and training staff were not going to let that happen as Scherholz swings and misses on a slider, strike 3. So Scherholz came into play right. Ruggiano went to center.
Yeah, and at the time I predicted a big night for Nate, but it hasn't panned out. 0 for 3 now for Scherholz.
Well, the night is not over yet.
No, yeah, there may be a big opportunity yet to come.
Cubs led at 1.3-0. Nationals have come back to tie it. They got 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Sinker, bottom of the zone on Barney. Slider disappeared into the dirt. 0-2. It's Chris Coghlan on deck for Ramirez. Stammen, an Ohio native, went to the University of Dayton. And pulled to left. Zimmerman can't get it. It's going to go to the wall. Barney on his way to second. And he has a double. Go ahead run down scoring position with only one out.
Got another slider, and this one stayed in the zone. Inner part of the plate where Barney likes it.
Now a pinch hitter, Chris Coghlan. Cubs pinch hitters collectively hitting 144 with only 4 RBIs. One and one.
Coghlan with 2 hits and 16 tries off the bench this year.
This is a really good Nationals bullpen. You don't want to trail late. Is it safe to say they have a 7th inning closer, an 8th inning closer, and a 9th inning closer?
Yeah, they do.
And Storen, Clippard, and Soriano.
Bullpen for the Nationals with 10 scoreless innings the other day against the Brewers in that 16-inning win. They have the best bullpen ERA in the league.
Long pause by Stammen. The pitch misses. 3-2. Sweeney on deck. Manny Ramirez is in the Iowa Cubs lineup for Game 2 at Colorado Springs. Batting 6th in the lineup behind Chris Bryant. Pitcher and catcher will get on the same page.
Made a number of pitches with Barney out there at second base, so it looks like they're going to change up their signs here.
Payoff delivery. Ball 4. The first time tonight a Cub hitter has taken a walk. Fister walked none in his 6 innings. Sweeney without a hit, 0 for 3.
And that's something Coughlin's been able to do throughout his career. He's always shown the ability to work a walk, patient hitter.
It's a strike. Final in Toronto, the Blue Jays shut out the White Sox 7-0 behind Jay Happ. He went 7 2/3 to get the win. Scott Carroll took the loss for the White Sox. 5 runs in 5 innings. Stammen's 1-1. Now 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 10th in Philadelphia. Marlins and Phillies tied at 3.
Not an overpowering guy. Tries to work the edges and keep the ball down around the knees. The 1-1 pitch looked like a pretty good pitch for the breaking ball. Didn't get the call. Tries that 2-seam runner away. That's a pitch that Sweeney has been pinging the other way. Got it in a little bit. The 3 runs for the Marlins tonight, all solo home runs. Salto Lamacchia, Giancarlo Stanton with number 21, and Ozuna hit his 13th.
Vance Worley with another good start, as he beat the Mets tonight in Pittsburgh 5-2. Gregory Polanco not only hit a homer, but he drove in 4 of the Pirates' 5 runs. Pirates back over 500. 3-2 pitch, ground ball to first. They'll get 1 at second, and that's it. Stammen over to cover, but a smart decision by Desmond, because he really didn't have a play. He was hoping Barney was going to make an aggressive turn around third. 2 outs.
Yeah, under pressure there. Difficult double play to convert and the risk of throwing it away. Makes this a smart play by Desmond.
So first and third. 2 outs in the 7th and a 3-3 deadlock. And Ruggiano takes ball 1. Astros beat the Braves today 6-1 the final. So they avoid the sweep. Jose Veras struck out Justin Upton to finish the ball game. He's back with the Astros. Started the year with the Cubs. Way outside. 2-0 with Rizzo lurking on deck. I think Ruggiano's going to get something to hit here in this at bat.
Just missed driving a Aroldis Chapman fastball out of here last night, and he'll be looking to do some damage here on 2-0.
Not the one he wanted to swing at.
That's
he didn't think it was a strike.
Well, you know, and this, you know, we talk a lot about protection. So here you got Rizzo on deck, and he throws him 2-0 breaking ball. So this gives you an idea of how much confidence Stammen has in his slider.
Line fair. Cubs have the lead again. Barney will score. Sweeney's going to be sent by Gary Jones. Here's a relay throw to the plate. Not in time. Throw to third. Out there to end the inning. But the Cubs get 2. They get those runs right back. And at the end of 7, lead the Nationals 5-3. Vote now. Log on to Cubs in-game live on csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Justin Ruggiano may get some votes. Center cut, and he made him pay.
Interesting that Matt Williams had nobody up in the bullpen with Rizzo coming up next. Became a moot point after that swing of the bat by Ruggiano, and he just kept running too. So good swing of the bat, and that idea to keep on going. Inning ends, and then a tender moment.
Here's Pedro Strop. So Neil Ramirez could get his first major league win. He is the pitcher of record. 7.625 to get Ruggiano to end the inning. Tough part of the order, though. Worth, LaRoche, and Zimmerman. This is one of the more veteran or older teams, position player wise, in the National League. Most of their everyday starters have been around the block a few times.
Travis got into trouble with walks in the top of the 7th, back-to-back walks to get things started. They both came around to score. Or Strop, excuse me, down 2-0 on Worth, who is a very patient hitter. Down 1, he may have a green light here. Down 2, he'll be taking all the way.
Three and 1 on Worth. Chop left side, cut off by Valbuena.
Third baseman are taught to get whatever they can. Ground balls like this, and here Valbuena calling it. Castro might have been calling it too. They're having a little fun after the play, talking it over.
Good news on Junior Lake. Cubs announcing that he's got contusions on his knee and neck. but passed all the concussion tests. So that's good news. Knee and head bruises. So scraped up, but it could have been a lot worse.
That's very good news.
And a good bunt by LaRoche. Did the math, figured, well, if I can get on, I'll bring the tying run up, and that's exactly what happened against the Shift.
Yeah, he'd shown it earlier. The Cubs didn't really react to it. They didn't believe he would do it, and he drops down to beauty here. You don't have to square late. Not like you need the element of surprise when nobody's over there. Or square early, rather.
Zimmerman is doubled, fly to right, and walk. And ball one on a fastball.
Anxious moments for these outfielders right now, with this fog rolling in even thicker now in a 2-run game with a guy who hits the ball in the air a lot.
And the fog has just not relented here late. Valbuena with a fog-aided triple just a couple of innings ago, 2-0. Just going to mention Mike Trout and Albert Pujols each with a couple of RBIs, and the Angels beat the Twins 6-4 for an unbeaten homestand. They've won 15 of 17 at home. They have the best home record in the majors. Jared Weaver got the win.
Now 11 games over 500. Putting a little heat on Oakland.
Tigers leading at Texas, looking for their 7th straight win. 5-0 in the 7th. Here it's 5-3 Cubs late. A bouncer to Valbuena. Throw to second for one. Throw to first by Barney. Double play. Boy, they've turned 3 of them tonight. And that one the biggest because it's the most recent, and it's still 5-3. Kelly, thank you. It's 5-3 Cubs. They try to add some insurance here in the 8th. Anthony Rizzo would have come up with a runner in scoring position in the 7th, but Ruggiano, who had doubled home 2, tried for an extra base and got nailed.
It's just not worth it with 2 outs. Take that gamble and try to get to third base. He's go 3 out of 3 tonight.
Bounced foul. Zimmerman in left. Whether the Cubs are home or away, guided tours of legendary Wrigley Field are available. They may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, and a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses 100 years of history. For game days and non-game day schedules, or to book your tour, go to Cubs.com/tours today.
Victor Rondon ready in the Cub bullpen for the 9th. Travis Wood tonight, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 5, struck out 4. Third of an inning for Neil Ramirez. He's in position to be the winning pitcher. Strop worked a scoreless 8th. 3 double plays turned by the Cubs tonight.
Fly ball out in the deep right center. Looks like Worth able to locate it. He does. 2 outs. Looking to the 9th, Rondon will face Desmond, Ramos, and Espinoza. Those are the scheduled hitters. We're in the 11th in Philadelphia. Marlins and Phillies still tied at 3. Strike called. 1-2. Brewers still leading, but the Rockies have come back. It's 5-4. Milwaukee in the 6th. 2-2. Stammen in his second inning of work. He's run it full.
Tigers are leading the Rangers 5-0 tonight. They've played 7 down in Arlington, Texas. Tigers looking for their 7th consecutive win. They've been a kind of a crazy team.
They have, all over the place. Miguel Cabrera 3 for 4. Victor Martinez 2 for 3, both hitting well over 300.
Consistency is overrated. Very streaky, and last week they fell behind Kansas City. Now they have a 4-game lead again.
Rick Porcello 7 shutout and counting tonight. On the ground is second, and this will take us to the 9th. It's the Cubs 5 and the Nationals 3. With your very own Coors Light Refresherator. Enter now for your chance to win one of 10 Silver Bullet vending machines from now until June 30th. Visit csnchicago.com/Coors Light and sign up to win. As promised earlier tonight, we have our AT&T fan photo. Tweet it to hashtag #NorthsideFanPhoto for a chance to have it appear in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. That is a very new Cub fan right there.
A stylish new Cub fan. Well, Hector Rondon coming out for the 29th time, 1-2 with the 381. Suffered the loss last time out. That was that game against Cincinnati where things really came unraveled. Give up the grand slam to Mesoraco, was charged with 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning.
One 1-0 on Ian Desmond. He's line to right and struck out swinging twice. Thought about a bunt. See Castillo trying to settle down Rondon. 2-0. Desmond not a guy who walks a whole lot, but maybe a little more patient in this situation.
What you fear with a young guy like Rondon in a high leverage situation. It's a high pressure job being a big league closer and having had some tough outings here recently. You don't want a guy to get a little gun shy, start pitching away from contact with his stuff. Tough though. The brain gets in the way of the body. You're trying to find the strike zone, but your brain's telling you, dude, last time I threw it in there, a guy hit it in the seats and they scored 4 runs with 1 swing of the bat. Leo.
Yeah. Automatic 3-0 strike. He'll take it. Strike 2. Got away with one on the number 4. That one
that's a
caught
good
the
one.
box.
That's a good one. Cheese at the knees. Punched him out twice tonight. Travis Wood did with elevated fastballs.
Second 3-2 pitch and a ground ball toward the middle. Castro will field, throw to first, out, one away. Well, how big was that 3-0 pitch? Instead of a runner at first, tying run at the plate, nobody out. He comes back to get Desmond.
The game gives you a break. You have to take advantage of it. Rondon did.
Big night for the Nationals catcher off the DL today. 2 singles, a walk, and a run, and a huge swing. Strike 1.
Here you go. Catch me if you can. 96.
Right at Barney. 2 away. Ramirez and Stammen, the pitchers of record. Neil Ramirez could get his first major league win. He got 1 out tonight. Foul. Still 0-2.
Espinosa just a 201 hitter from this side of the plate.
If he reaches, Nate McLouth will pinch hit. Cubs trying to beat the National League East leading Nationals. Up against the ropes here. 2 outs, 2 strikes, 9th inning. Cubs win. Cubs win. Rondon 1-2-3 in the 9th.
Nice job coming back after a rough one last time out for Rondon, and then following behind Desmond 3-0. He Got a little bit of a break, but took advantage of it. Got back into that count. Ends up pitching a 1-2-3 ninth here. And boy, nice win for the Cubs. Well played game. Lots of double plays. Wood hung in there. Rizzo had a big night.
Let's get our Xfinity high-speed action. Some of that defense you just mentioned.
Bats end here by the third base coach Henley. And they cut down Zimmerman at home plate, but a good play by Sweeney and Valbuena. And they started to rain double plays.
Never a bad one from a pitcher's perspective for sure. And this is a big 5-4-3. They get Strop out of the 8th inning. Now our GMC professional grade player of the game, Justin Ruggiano, came in with a long offer, ends the night with a game-winning hit. Not a great end to that play, but smiles at least all around.
Yeah, it ended up not really factoring into play.
So for JD and our entire crew, Len Casper from the ballpark, your final score: Cubs 5, Nationals 3. We're back with you on CSN from Fenway Park in Boston, 5:30 for our pregame coverage on Monday evening. Stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live is next.